baby. Oh, I love that theme song.
So wonderful. Hey, how's it going, dude?
Nah, it's going all right. How's it going for you?
Pretty fantastic. Just spit out some gum into my boarding pass for my flight today.
Oh, someone took a flight today.
So I'm frazzled.
You got jet lag?
A little bit of jet lag. No, it was like an hour difference. I don't think that it constitutes jet lag.
Oh, where'd you go?
Baltimore.
Ooh.
You know where I went, roommate.
Yeah, I know where you went, but the people out there listening
What?
don't know.
Who's that? Oh, hello.
Hey. Oh, man, I'm blocked this way, too.
Well,
you can see
someone
my
can fix
hand.
it. I can't set up tech for everything.
No. It's fine. It's fine. So for those listening at home, you're not hearing anything. But for those watching on Facebook streaming, you see there's a weirdo person in the studio with us today.
Who is this freak?
Everybody, please welcome our guest, Mr. Cody Edgar.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, dude?
Hey, friends. How are you?
I'm great.
Doing
Better than a year
fantastic,
here.
yeah.
I love the radio banter of we didn't just all see each other right before
We
this.
weren't just hanging out for 3 hours.
Yeah, no. Like, how are you? Good to see you. Where's your flight now? That's a lot of fun. Hey, guys, thanks for having
We got to
me.
catch up the listeners, you know?
Good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the listeners.
It's just like a reality TV show. We do multiple takes, and then we go in and give them the final
this
product.
is all
I
true.
wish we could do multiple takes of this radio show.
Not me. I love it live.
Hey,
Hey, if you're not live, you're not living.
Oh.
and that is tattooed on all of our backs.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all the words if you put our three backs together.
Yeah, that's why we've been dying to have you on the show to finally make some sense of this.
We laid down together
'Cause right
back
now-
to back, and they just did it across all three of them.
Yeah, right now when Connor and I sit next to each other, it just says "if you're not living," and everyone's like, "What is
the
that?"
And now with you, we figure it out. So Cody, tell us some more about what. How do you know Ned?
Me and Ed went to high school together.
Mm-hmm.
I was a year younger than the boy, and we were both in the theater department.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I always thought of him as like the cooler older dude, and then I got to know him, and that's just not true.
Yeah, that's right. He's the cooler.
Yeah, it turns out
younger
we're just
dude.
about the same age. Yeah.
Oh, he's so much cooler. Yeah. No, yeah. And then we
actually just had the director of Larry Weinstein in house last weekend, and we were talking about high school stories about
our good friend
Yeah.
Jared Banks.
no, the director of Larry Weinstein in house. Yeah,
Oh,
Jared Banks. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say and Star.
Yeah.
I thought you directed it.
Technically, I mean, me, Jared, and Jay Weissmuller directed it together.
What do you mean technically? Did you technically direct it, or did you direct it?
He was not in the movie.
Connor,
and
it's
he
the same way that
filmed
we direct
everything.
Micro Satan videos where like all four of us are like, well, you should do this.
Okay.
There's no like true director of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So executive produced.
No, I had no.
Four
I had,
executive producers. Yeah.
I had no hand in Larry Weinstein. It was before I was really friends with them, or like they were still making it while I was friends, but I wasn't like the in circle, to be able to get into the movie. But I treat it as gospel. It is, it's quite the thing.
Well, we made some videos in high school together.
A lot.
Bean Sprout, baby.
Bean Sprout, man.
Yeah.
We made Bean Sprout, which is currently the audio does not sync up on YouTube. So my kids got a hold of it. They found it.
Oh, wow.
And they actually took.
Did they say anything else about the other videos on my YouTube channel?
No.
Nothing about the Future Bowl?
The audio's not synced up on that either. So
Wait,
that
the
is-
Future Bowl?
So we had this long-going joke in high school about the Future Bowl, which is the Crucible in the future, where everyone's like, are they robots or are they not robots? Guys, a little closer to home than you think nowadays.
Whoa.
It's called a Turing test.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. But one of my friends, Riley, did a 24-hour movie contest for his birthday, which I wish more people would do that for their birthday parties. I thought that was so fun.
was
You should do one.
Yeah.
You just had a birthday. Why
Whoops.
didn't you do it?
Missed it.
You blew it.
You were out of town. We did do it. We just made videos about how much we hate you.
Oh,
No,
I don't want
it was
to go
fun.
to
So,
that
so we
festival.
did make the Future Bowl, and we just covered Bo Gonzalez's room in tinfoil, and then just winged it. And I still think it is like great.
we did. So I teach high school, and I direct, and we did the Crucible last year. And like I wanted to show them so bad, but the audio didn't sync up, and
They would still get it.
They did, and they said Goody Proctron quite a bit.
Goody. Oh yeah, yeah. Connor, I'll have to show it to you. It's pretty fun.
I'm very
Titutron.
interested. Yeah.
It was one of the things I made in high school where, as we were finishing it, I was like, this is something I'm truly proud of, and I think I'll continue to be proud of. And I think I'm still proud of it.
Yeah. No.
I'll find out tonight when I rewatch it.
And then I was in your short film in college too. In,
Molded, my very first short film for school. Cody was the lead actor, and
I've
it
seen
was
that one.
It was completely crazy because it was like I was trying to find a lead, and I auditioned a bunch of people, and I couldn't find anyone that quite fit it. And then I messaged you, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll be in town."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, perfect." Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. We did that with Joe Birch was a part of that, and that was a lot of fun to work
Joe
with
Birch and
the
Ben
show.
Butcher
Yeah,
both played part of the
monster, because it had this big.
Clay Man. It was about a guy who had a dirty apartment and he would do anything to clean it, and including buying a clay man off the internet to clean his apartment.
Ah, the old Gollum parable.
Yeah.
Golem. That's not confusing with Lord of the Rings. We're about to get a copyright.
Hey man, I call him as I see him, dude.
Hey, Ned Gale.
I can imagine that must have been pretty fun because we've also collaborated together before.
Yep.
You brought to life an amazing character called Chuck Tucker.
Yeah,
the Charge Chucker.
Charge Chucker. My kids found that too, and that's their favorite because it's just me screaming.
Oh my gosh! If I found my teacher doing that video, I'd be like, "What is going on?"
No, and that was just us three at your house. I think was anybody else there?
It was you, me, and Austin Havacan.
But I thought you were there.
I was not there.
You were there for the planning of it.
I was there. I was like,
Yeah.
look, it's just this like Jim Adler kind of guy, Chuck Tucker, and then you were like, you just took it and you ran with it.
I think I even made up the name Chuck Tucker because I think I wanted something. I think Charge Chucker was one of the first things that I thought of, and then the puns just came with that.
It was amazing.
Well, half of that's just Ned's editing, which makes everything look really funny. But because I just sat in front of a green screen and just ranted, like I
Just
nothing
yelled
written
for
out,
like an
and I
hour.
just, yelled for an hour, and they did stuff with it.
Now, for those who aren't listening, Chuck Tucker is one of those cheesy TV lawyers with a crazy ad that everybody just knows. And Cody, can you tell us anything about Chuck Tucker and his life and just like...
Well, the big thing about Chuck Tucker is he was not as he appeared. Chuck Tucker.
Well, what's his true name?
Well, so it's revealed throughout it. So this was filmed. It was the first thing of the show, wasn't it? I think it was the first thing we showed.
We released it before.
We used
the
it as a
show.
commercial to
Yeah, that's
advertise,
right.
which was a smart idea on our part.
Yeah, so he does this Jim Adler type thing where he's Chuck Tucker, the Charge Chucker, and he's ready to charge and chuck any charge you might accrue right at the goddamn window. Now,
great.
He is revealed to have gone. So like the whole thing was like a trial that he was a lawyer in, and it was the trial for Connor and Billy's lives, and the judge was Ruth. And it turned out that
Judge Ruth.
And it turned out that Judge Ruth and Chuck Tucker had gone up in the lawyer business together, and that secretly, before he adopted his name before was Neil Biggles.
I want to note that, like, surely nobody in the writers' room knew anything about law school.
No, I made up.
Like, we were talking about everything. We were like, yeah, and then like the judge and the lawyer went to school together. They played on the basketball team.
Yeah, they were both on the basketball team.
I think that's how it works.
And then it was really revealed that his true name, I think, was like
It was
Charles Tinyman?
something Tinyman.
Broderick Tinyman.
Broderick
Yeah.
Tinyman. And he had a bucket.
Yeah. The first bucket you bring out is a little small, and then the second bucket is a huge one. This is Broderick Tinyman.
It says Broderick Tinyman. That's where I put my flop sweat into. That's where I rang out my flop sweat.
That was a very, very fun show, and we finally we've got the footage of that one, don't we?
Yeah. That's somewhere just waiting to be touched.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see it. Yeah, no, that was so much fun. I knew. So me and Ned have been like since we first were friends, always creating dumb stuff. But I don't know if you've ever told. Have you told this story about Fat Fest on here before? About how y'all two met?
no.
How Connor and I have met, our origin story. Not a lot of people know our origin story.
I met Connor the same time Ned met Connor, which probably beforehand because my friend John McFarlane put together a music festival because he just wanted to one summer, like I think the summer right after high school.
This is down in Clear Lake, Space City. What up, represent?
What up, bro? And he so he called it Fat Fest, and he got a bunch of local bands.
Named by me after my band
Really?
Fat Lotta Good, who did not play.
Who did not play?
Yeah. It was Fat PH or no, it was FAT PHEST. Yeah.
And he just booked a lot of local people, and he booked our friend Paul Zenti to do some comedy. He booked another
Yeah. We wanted to
dude.
book some comedy.
the
So
other
it was
guy?
Alex Ravandi.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who was, might I add, voted A&M's funniest student.
Jeez.
I remember.
Oh my god.
I remember. Keep going. I'll go back to A&M's funniest student.
Anyways, we booked this guy. Also, he booked this guy out. So I was looking through the list, and it was like all the Clear Lake staples, like Team Dank,
Team Dank,
Clear Lake
Dang.
staples.
Rest
They
in
got
peace.
all the hits.
Yeah.
The Clear Lake.
Clear Lake used to have
It
a pretty
was.
healthy music scene, and I think
Yeah.
that music festival was really cool because there weren't a lot of shows happening in Clear Lake, and there used to be when I first went into high school.
Well, there was that one bar where you guys always played, or the one coffee shop. What was
Coffee
it?
Oasis,
Yeah, Oasis.
rest in peace.
Yeah, I know. That always had
Had
shows
sandwiches
going
spelled wrong on the window for like 10 years.
on. So then there's just this Connor Clifton is booked on this show, and we have no idea who he is.
Three random comedians, so three comedians go up, and
Yeah.
Connor goes up and does this. So Cody was
So
the host
I was the
of it.
host. Me and Jared were the two hosts of it.
Director of Larry Weinstein.
And we introduced Connor, and I don't think we'd even met you beforehand, even like shook your hand or anything. And Connor goes up, and here comes this country bumpkin. And
Yeah, we met him beforehand. He was wearing overalls. I guess I might have shook your hands like, hey, what's going on, man?
I walked up and I was wearing a plaid long sleeve shirt
Yeah.
and overalls, and I walked up to John McFarlane and his brother, who I don't know his name.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
John and Joseph McFarlane, and I just immediately went, "Oh, look at y'all! Y'all are twins. Ain't that something?" And they're just like, "Oh, great."
Yeah. This is who
Oh,
we're
what did
dealing
we
with.
book? Yeah.
So Connor does his whole stand-up set in character as this country guy, and is the funniest
Well, he doesn't just do it as the country guy because he keeps breaking character and going into this real miserable dude.
Oh,
who just,
yeah.
whips out a cigarette and he's like, you know the thing is. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I remember watching that. I was like, this is the best.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and like Ravandi had just gone before you, and
He bombed.
yeah,
Oh, he was
bombed
terrible.
hard.
I couldn't believe it. He was A&M's funniest student.
Yeah.
And he bombed.
Yeah, Paul did well.
Paul did pretty great, yeah.
Ravandi bombed, and then you came in, and there was like a mixed reaction among like the normal.
Well, first off,
The normal
half the
ba-
audience left when the comedy started.
Exactly,
Which was a
but the
misjudgment
band
on
kids
my
that sticked
part.
around were like, "What is this guy?" And all of us comedy people in the back were like, "This is perfect." And it was this really big divide. But then we met you afterwards, and you just kept the thing up. And I think at one point you came out of it. I don't know, but I think at one
He
point
came out of it long enough for Connor and I to talk about. I was like, dude, you do comedy? Like, I'm trying to do this kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, I'm really big into Tim and Eric. I was like, dude, what's your email? Let's trade emails.
Yeah.
And there's some very embarrassing.
They're like some really old emails of me and Ned just like, "What do you think is funny? I like Tim and Eric."
and this is like, you're like, we should definitely get together. He's like, yeah, I'm working on a film. I was like, oh, cool, man. And then radio silence for like
years
6
go by.
years. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
suddenly, I forget what it was, but I think you were like, "Hey, do you want to come over to my house?" One time I was home from college. I'm like, "Yeah, who's there?" And you're like, "Oh, it's Jared and Burr and all these people." And then Connor Clifton's here, and I was like, "That's a name I haven't heard in nigh on ages."
Well, I haven't heard that name.
Yeah. And I walked in, and you were just a completely different person than what we had met that day, and then we were
You're wearing
fast friends.
pants
Yeah.
instead of overalls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Completely changed.
I remember meeting you and being like, "This guy's so cool," and thinking that you thought I was so lame.
Where did we
you were
meet?
just
Where
like,
did we
"No,
meet?
no, I don't want to talk to you. I just want to do my dances." And I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
Oh, that was at Avant Garden because I think I remember being like, "Dude, you need to re-meet Cody. Like, I think you guys are gonna get along."
I've never had a problem with you. It was just like learning what you're like. Just like, oh, Cody doesn't stop.
No, yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about you. But one of the things I remembered most about that set, yes, I did break character because someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, we're having a party later. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes, I would like to attend.
And then that's when I broke character. But the thing I remember most about that is I had some jokes about NASA that I cannot repeat on air, but it was very critical of NASA.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember all the parents just like crossing their arms, being like, "He's making fun of our bread and butter," and all the kids being like, "We hate our parents. Keep going. More NASA material."
I mean, it was also a very aggressive joke. NASA or not, the wording would cross any parent's arms.
Yeah. I remember being upset.
Yeah. you could say it about local frozen yogurts and still make that joke, and everyone would be like,
I remember being so entwined with NASA that like when Obama was first like campaigning and like he had said some like we don't need to worry about space face shit. I'm like, who the? I was like, who is this guy? You know, I was so upset.
Yeah, no, I can understand. It took me a long time. I got in an argument with our friend Austin Havocan, who completely changed my mind about NASA, and now I'm super pro NASA.
Yeah, they do good things.
They do. But that was a really cool way to meet you guys. That was a lot of fun.
Did you end up going to the party that night?
I didn't.
It was at Zach's house.
No one ever texted me. I guess.
What a chump.
Yeah. I gave that person my phone number, and I guess they were just like, oh, it's a character. I wanted the country bumpkin.
Yeah.
Not that city slicker.
We were gonna watch that bumpkin eat 9 corn cobs. We were so excited about it. Yeah.
I bet that's what they're like, we're gonna invite the stupid yokel and make him eat a bunch of farm food.
Yeah.
We got a pig for wrestling.
There's this big pit of pigs.
Yeah. One of us asked him to prom as a joke. We were gonna sheeze all that him, and they're like, "Oh, it's just some kid."
Like, whoa, he's really awesome. Yes, I was. Anyway, I got onto that show.
Boy.
I got onto that show randomly.
Yeah, how did you get? I still to this day don't know how you were booked.
It was because
Who would have let your stupid? No.
All right, so I did do stand up and open mics from 19 to 20.
I think you're from 1998 to
2001.
Never forget, dude.
So for 2 years I did open mics, and so I guess I was following a lot of local comics, and they were following me, and that made like, oh, people you might know. So Fat Fest follows me, and I follow back because I was trying to build my Twitter thing.
Man, way to go, McFarlane.
Really?
On like following comedians and like really getting Twitter going.
Well, you know who actually ran the Fat Fest Twitter? Hunter.
Oh,
Hunter Dollars.
It was Hunter Dollars indeed. Maybe it was Hunter that did that.
Dang, because I know Ravandi was a connect through Zach. He had done a stand-up set at one of their band shows. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like that was his connection, and then Paul. That's Paul.
I saw Zach yesterday.
Oh yeah, how's he doing?
Yeah, good.
We'll talk off air.
Now you want to pump Hunter up. Let's go a little bit further into how this all played out, and you won't think Hunter's so great at social media.
No.
I mean, could you believe that the guy who booked A&M's Funniest Student did absolutely no vetting of me? I didn't have a single YouTube video up. My Twitter wasn't the best, and whoever was running that Twitter account just tweeted out, hey, we're looking to book some local comedians for this festival.
That was definitely Hunter.
Yeah, and I just said, sign me up. And he said, okay.
To be fair, we're a bunch of like 17-year-olds
say,
trying to book comedy
I was
in
say,
Clear Lake.
You're operating under the assumption that we turned people down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, half of the bands did not show up.
That's crazy, because I had convinced myself that y'all had UT's Funniest Student, and you just beefed it and got this guy who, he was just so bad.
Ravandi, if you're listening, I'm sorry, pal.
Yeah, sorry about it.
Thanks for giving me a really easy crowd.
We saw him a couple years later at A&M. What's the festival they do in Bryan, Texas? Something Lights or whatever. Some sort of like street fest they do there.
Yeah.
And we saw Cody Hustak, who ended up 2 years later being the funniest person in Austin, and he blew my mind because there's a bunch of A&M comics and then him doing the most like out there material ever.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, whoa, this rules.
That's so
That's so great.
Something good came out of that.
But beyond our friendship.
But yeah, no, since then, yeah. No, I the thing about warming up to me, like you say that, like, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I've never had that that's how Ned was to me. That's how every friend I've ever had has been to me, is that it takes a little warm-up time.
It wasn't warming up. It wasn't like, Cody's hanging out. It's like, I could immediately identify that I wanted to be your friend. No, it was this weird thing. It wasn't like you were cooler, maybe because you're taller than me, and I was like literally looking up to you, being like, this guy wears basketball shorts in public.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah. I literally almost wore them today. And I was like, I was like, maybe not.
We'll add the basketball shorts in post for the video.
Yeah, we've got a filter. Ned's really great.
People
with editing.
always watch these videos, and it's really important.
But
no, I just from the get-go, I was like, okay, this guy is really, really cool. I want to be his friend, and here we are.
Here we are, buddy.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit to Chuck Tucker, but specifically
The Charge Chucker?
The Charge Chucker, the very same. Specifically, I want to ask about that idea started as a concept.
Yeah.
and you created this entire character with a backstory that ended up becoming quite integral to the plot of the show.
More than it was going to be.
Yeah, the plot being, or one of the biggest things about the character is that he went to school because he loved lawyer commercials.
Yeah.
And I love that he just kept going on about that.
Yeah, he was just way more into the actual commercial making than being a lawyer.
But you, how do you come up and really define these characters that you
Where do you get
portray?
your ideas from?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I want to know about your process of refining an idea, not where you found the idea.
You did mention that you're a theater teacher. So
Yeah.
give us the deets.
I don't write as much as I would like to because I don't do anything as much as I would like to besides directing. I direct a lot, and then acting and writing and all those other stuff I would love to do more of. I'm a person that, like, even when I watch a movie or something, I'm so obsessed with character. I think it's my favorite thing about it, more than storyline or plot or anything. If you give me like really grounded like characters I can leech onto, like that's like a huge thing for me. So like you gave me this small task and I made it into a much bigger one because you told me to make a character, and to me that means like I need to know everything about this guy front and back, because in improv that's kind of what you have to do. And I like, so with my kids, whenever we do plays, I make them do like all this stuff about their character. Like even if they play fireman number 4, I'm like, you need to know everything about
beer?
fireman. If you're playing this beer bottle, you need to know where you were manufactured. No, like they need to know literally everything about them, because if you can't answer a question about your character, you're not your character to me. Like you need to be able to like. So we do these improv exercises where I put them in front of the rest of the cast, and I have them all just.
This is so anxiety-inducing.
I know, but I have the rest of the cast just ask them questions, and they have to answer in character.
That's really cool.
And,
that sounds grueling, but fun.
It is.
Yeah.
No, and they all like really enjoy it, and I give them like a minute to like prepare and get themselves in their head. We all sit in silence for like a minute while they like get in the headspace, and then I'm like, all right, go. And then
great.
like I have a pose that they all do. Every character they ever do, I get them to define it as a pose. That if I looked at the pose, I would know a little bit about your character just by looking at them.
Yeah, how do you carry yourself? How do you present yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like what we do, like these walking exercises all the time. Like what do you lead with? Your nose, your chest, your hips. Like what is something what propels you through a room? What do you look like when you're most happy? Because like my happiness and Ned's happiness, if I'm at a 10 and he's at a 10, they're going to look really different. So what makes your character happy? How do you get there?
What is your 10 happy? What do you look like?
Yahoo!
Yeah, me, I'm Daffy Duck, just bouncing around on my butt. Going,
So not that different.
Yeah. What about you, Connor? What's your top 10?
I just go,
Oh my god!
My tongue rolls out.
Jeez. Call Mel
I fire
Blanc.
my pistols into the air.
No, so I love that's one of my favorite things about theater is diving into another person's mind. And being
Do you have
"That's
any
who I am."
favorite characters or character actors who are like constantly putting out characters? Like who are some of your influences?
I think I don't know. For some reason, this is not going to be like this is not my answer. Like this is my answer, but this is not my number
Okay,
one.
then we'll talk off air.
No, I think Michael Keaton is so interesting in anything he does. Like we just talked about The Founder. Which is not like a great movie, the one where he plays Ray Kroc.
but he does a fantastic
But he's
job.
so good,
He's
and
so good
anything
at
he
it.
does in there. My big thing is, and I talk to my kids about this, I love it when you're watching a performance, you can see the wheels turning in their head, like just by the way they look and by the way they process their language, in terms of like they're trying to like so they get a new piece of information, and so many kids when they get a new piece of information just immediately are reaction, and so and they think that's acting. Like if I said like your mother is dead, they would just be like, what? No, no, and they would just like get so mad.
Yeah,
Be sad.
Exactly.
Be
and,
sad.
and there's something about Michael Keaton. I just showed my my mom and my stepdad Ken. I showed I just showed them Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is not like his peak of acting, but
But he's so good.
but he's
at
really
it.
good at it. And
He
he's-
immediately humanized that character. Like
Yeah.
from the first scene of that. When we watched that movie, I was just like, all right, let's see a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
He's so good. And when we were just talking about character, the movie that always runs to my head, and probably my favorite movie of the last 10 years, is Birdman. And I love Birdman. I love everything about it, the way it was made, and I love the acting in it because the characters are so rich and they don't get always the most dialogue. And that's not always needed to make a rich character.
Yeah.
And so, like, by the end of the film, you really understand him. But like I said, I think it's about the wheels turning and the emotion on the face and what you can do, because it takes, like, you don't really work with high school actors that much before you're a high school director.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. Like, I student taught for 6 months, and before that I did like a camp. So all in all, with other camps I've done, I probably had a year and a half of experience of actually working with high school, probably not even that, of working with high school actors. And then when you get high school actors, you realize really quickly what their tics are. And a lot of their tics are they don't want to look each other in the eyes. Like I have kids so often, just like one of my best actress and like that I've ever had, darts eyes. She just darts her eyes off because she doesn't want to be emotionally available for the other person, because she's really focused so much on what she's doing that she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And as humans, we don't look each other in the eyes the entire time. That'd be weird and awkward. But there's moments where you do. You know, there goes Ned staring. Oh boy, we're doing good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but the big thing about it is that I feel like they think they need to put on a show. And here's the difference in film acting and theater acting. You didn't ask this question. I'm going to tell you though. Theater is obviously bigger. You got to be bigger, right? You got to be so much bigger than you do on film. But you also have to try to make it realistic. And people process information. They don't just immediately get mad or sad or upset. So if you tell somebody a piece of information, they're going to sit there for a second and they're going to process it and they're going to take a pause. Kids are so afraid of silence.
Yeah.
It's like
Even I wouldn't even just say kids, people who are new to performing.
Yeah.
Like as you work that muscle, I think silence is the toughest thing. That's something that I had to learn a long time in improv, because I'm a fast moving guy. I like to get to the next thing real fast, and sometimes letting stuff just sit is like so important. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
It's just really weird that you just said that like they're terrified of it. I've always had the impression that kids are some of the bravest people because they're always trying these like weird new trends that I've never really heard of. I think we've got like a special report here on something that kids are up to these days.
Is this rainbow parties?
No, hang on. Let me get the audio going. Like,
okay.
You're listening to Parent News.
They're calling it adulting. Kids pretending to be adults as a new fad, while most go out trick-or-treating or looking for tail. They're now finding it more fun to look for mail. That's right, snail mail coming back in the news. Mortgages, tons of adult things that these kids are now trying. A special report by Brian Landau.
They call it adulting, like the news guy just said.
Ray. Donovan.
Thanks, Ray. Sorry. New on the job. These children out here are constantly talking about things that normally you wouldn't expect them to talk about. We have children talking about 401k plans, trying to take out a second mortgage on their tree houses. We even found one child complaining about his 1040 Easy.
What?
It's a tax form. And this is why
this is clearly a bit you guys planned before I was home.
What's the bit?
Excuse me, mister.
What's the bit?
Why do you guys keep talking to each other's cell phones? Guys, what's with news guys using cell phones now?
They're calling it texting. I would love to see a news report where they're just reporting on something that everyone knows about. They're calling it logging onto the internet.
It's out there. It's just old news.
Whoa.
Well, thanks, Ned. That was a lot of fun.
We should have gave him a prep.
Yeah, no, if you guys, I mean, I heard you guys talking about it in the garage, and it seemed like you guys were having a good time, without me. And then
they're calling it complaining.
Well, do you feel like we should do some warm-ups first?
Yeah, let's do some quick warm-ups.
Right,
yeah,
right,
okay. Okay, let's do a quick shake it out, okay? So,
all right.
Okay.
Horse lips. Horse lips.
Do you have a favorite theater warm-up? Or a good tongue twister?
Sure. My mom made.
My mom made.
Me and my mates.
Me and my mates.
Marmalade.
Platform 3 3/4.
This is a real one I do with them because I do consonants and I do like Bob bit a blue bug and I go through all the consonants and one that I just made up was there's the sentence, tough Timmy, you get 2 toes.
Okay,
and now I have a backstory about it.
Connor and I, so Connor and I are going to play out that scene right now.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to play Timmy or would you like me to play Timmy?
I'll play the doctor.
Okay.
Mr. Doctor, I don't know if my parents can afford these sandals that you prescribed me. They're all weird shaped and they cost extra because they don't look like each other.
Tough, Timmy. You get 2 toes.
But why?
Any coffee, you guys? That's called a cameo.
Nice.
One line. My kids, I also direct the improv troupe, and my kids will be in the scene sometimes, and I'll just walk in sometimes to it. Like I'm just watching on the side of the phone, and I'll go, water? Anybody want water? Like in the middle of what they're doing.
Well, okay, so you're talking about improv. We just talked about theater exercises. There is one improv exercise I really love doing with you guys. Maybe that can warm us up a little bit. What's it called? We all say the same thing?
Mind meld.
Mind meld. Yeah.
Mind meld.
So it's like 3-2. Do you want to try to do a 2-person one real quick?
We'll do a 2-person one to show. So basically the idea is we're both going to say a word at the exact same time, and then after that we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to try to find a word that connects those two
and
words.
try to say the same thing at the same time. So let's do a 2-person. Then let's try all 3 of us if we can possibly. Okay. So Cody, you and I, let's try.
You ready?
Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Fruit.
Microphone. Okay. Fruit and microphone. Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Banana.
Boom.
Dang!
All right. Good job, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to try all 3? This is going to be tricky
This
if we
is
can get
hard.
all 3.
All
There's
3 of
no
us.
way this
All
is going to
3 of
happen.
us. Let's do this. Okay, ready? One.
three.
Wait, 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
or
3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3.
We're
It's a
already
3, 2,
messing
1.
up.
I'll start on 2. Okay. Ready?
I'll say 3.
I'm gonna do
Ned,
2,
you say
1,
2.
3.
Connor, you say 1.
Okay. Wait. But are we going 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going second.
Ready?
Yeah.
3.
2.
1.
Shots.
Whoa!
Are you kidding me?
Did we all just say shots?
Shots. Let's try it again. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Basketball hoops.
All right.
We are so in sync. We might as well be the band.
Jeez.
God, improv is so fun when you're on the same wavelength.
Let's try. Here's another game that me and Ned often play before we record our hilarious podcast, Honey, I Shrunk the Bitch.
Let's save the plugs for the end.
Yeah, come on. You're on my podcast.
Yeah, if you want to talk
play
about
by my
Outside Skin
rules.
or Honey, I Shrunk the Binge or any of our other projects we work on together, let's save it for the end.
Sure, Neo Benchy coming up next month. Here's the deal. It's called a one-word story.
Right.
And
I love this
what's
game.
going to happen is we're going to try to make a story based off just the title of a book that does not exist, and we're all going to go around one word at a time and try to make a story.
All right. I
Okay.
love this.
Okay,
So-
actually, I've got the title right here on my boarding pass. Ooh, that's gum. I've got the title on my boarding pass right here, and that title is The Youngest Fleets Flying.
The youngest fleets flying.
Cody, would you like to start?
I would. Once
There,
Was
a
pilot,
who
had
yokes,
all
up
in,
his
face
it,
was
sticky,
and
nasty.
but
made
A lot.
of
sense.
Don't tell anyone I put a lot. So,
one
Day
when
he
was
flying
high
the
co-pilot,
asked
him
what's
the
deal
with
airline
food.
man?
All right.
the
End.
good story, guys.
So this guy is flying a plane. There's eggs all over his face. He's like, I can't see anything. The guy goes, what's up with this food?
But he's practicing his comedy routine, not paying attention to his
No.
job.
He's even asking. He's looking at his face. He's like, what's up with this food on your face?
What's up with
And you
airline
know what
food?
the,
Is it
airline
they don't
was?
serve eggs. Yeah.
You know what the airline was?
What was it?
United.
They're in the news again.
Oh.
You guys reading the news?
Have
Yeah.
you guys read
Oh,
the
I
news?
read the news.
Yeah.
Read the news.
It's
Have you heard the news? The Lord is back.
Oh, you mean the good news?
The good news.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now only the bad news. CNN.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go tell it on the mountain.
Fake news. Fake news.
Wow, 360 audio coming from Cody.
Ah, great. I'm so glad that we said fake news on KPFT.
Do you want to? Wait, can we talk about some outside skin stuff real quick? Just because.
yeah, go ahead. Talk
No,
about this. Talk about the improv group that you guys have, and I'm not a part of, but Billy is.
How was? Oh, that was for one time only.
2 times.
2 times.
Once on TV and then once on stage for New Year's. Remember?
TV.
All right, so you guys are
We were
in
on
this
public
improv
access
troupe.
television.
That's right. It's our son.
So you guys are in an improv troupe called Outside Skin.
This is correct.
And how did you guys start this improv troupe? What inspired it?
I have the exact texts. Literally, it was there was a improv bracket tournament that we
Beta Duos bracket.
that we entered into. Just because as soon as it went up, me and Ned were like, "Oh, we're gonna do it together." And
Let's duo this together.
and then somebody from the organization messaged me, "Hey, what's y'all's name?" And I just texted Ned that day, and I have the text, and I said, "Hey, what's our name?" And Ned said, "Outside Skin." And I went, and I think my response was, "Yup."
I said, we can change it. You're like, nope, that's it.
Nope, that's the one. And I sent it to her. And then it became more than an improv troupe in the terms of we didn't think the improv was as much fun as
Yeah, I think this speaks to as much as like just taking something and running with it of like, oh, this name's goofy. We should address that. So we started all of our shows with like really weird songs.
Yeah, like a song and dance number.
Do you guys remember any of them?
Yeah.
Oh, outside skin. Well, what is it? Outside skin. Well, who has it?
Is it here?
Is it there? Is it under your chair? Is it something you should handle with the greatest of care?
Well, yes.
But actually, I don't remember.
No.
Oh, well, no.
Could it protect you from your
Greatest
greatest
of foes,
Well,
it can do all that, and it can
even
do more.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's outside skin.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's outside skin. It's more than a show. Outside skin. Well, let's bring it down low. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Outside Skin, the most wonderful, incredible product to ever hit the markets. And this product, what it will do is it'll save you. It'll save you from all of your problems, emotional needs, physical problems, anything that ails you.
Man, that's so true. And out there, I see you guys. I see you through our microphones, and I see that you're wearing some inside skin.
Ew.
And that's icky, sticky stuff that you don't want in your life. Because if you
Blah.
didn't know, outside skin will give you
powers.
Powers. Magical.
mystical powers. 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 Man, it's been so long. That's the first time we've done that since last summer.
That was incredible, guys. That was so awesome.
No,
And there's like 10 of those.
yeah. So basically, it's a cult. And,
Oh, well, it's not a cult.
It's
It's not a cult. Yeah, listen, it's not a cult. We
Outside
do
Skin
own
is
a
not
boat. It is not a cult.
We
But
own a
it's
boat.
not
You
a
can come
cult.
out to it, but
Yeah.
it's not a cult. It's not a cult. But it became like a self-help program of how to cure yourself, and we're trying this summer to put on what we've been planning for a very long time.
Mm-hmm,
It started as I think we were going to do New Year's 2016, and we couldn't put it
Yeah.
together. And it's called the Outside Skiminar.
Outside Skin presents the
yes,
Outside
yes,
Skiminar.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we've done money. We say it's an improv troupe, but most of the shows we've done at this point are like way more planned out than they are improv shows.
Yeah. Well, you were on one. One of our, I think the purest moment of Outside Skin was at Josh and Steph Presents.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember this.
That was the turning point of.
Before you go on the story, I just want to say that my mom was in the audience that night, and the crowd was explosive at your performance. You got
Yeah.
the whole room moving and singing with you, and my
Yeah.
mom said, "I didn't get it, but the room loved it."
That I don't think we need you to get it.
Yeah, I don't think the
my
room
mom's
gets it.
listening, dude.
No.
No. This is for
I'm
everyone.
saying for
Yeah.
everybody. I think
Because I don't think we truly get
we have
what
always,
we want.
Anytime I have ever pressed for being like, hey, let's really define how it started, what's going on. Ned, rightfully so, and I didn't get this attitude till later, said, the less we know about it, the more we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And there's no.
The second we start
laws.
putting up bounds, we have to kind of stick to a
it's
mythos.
not a TV
Yeah.
show or a movie where people can look back and say, hey, people are seeing a different thing every time. So we've had so many different holidays that have conflicted with each other. Like we've had new Skinsmas and
New Skins Eve, Skinmas, yeah. the
New
great
Skins Feast.
the New Skins Feast, yeah.
And they all conflict with each other, but we don't allow ourselves to get bogged down in our own mythos.
Yeah, for New Skinsmas, that was the last show we did around Christmas break. I was just talking to Hannah about this. So what we did is we put glue all over our body and let it dry, so we could tear it and look like our skin was coming off. Now, of course, we know how New Skinsmas works. Is that every year Skinsmas comes around and we unwrap ourselves to release our new skin.
Yeah, we wrap ourselves up in wrapping.
So we spent the entire night wrapped up in wrapping paper, looking like cute little Christmas boys, and everyone kept walking out. They're like, "We love your costume," not knowing that we were sitting in 2.5 hours just cooking glue to our body. Every time I moved my arm, I could feel my hairs being torn out.
It was.
So we go up, we do our performance, and we set up what Skinsmas is. We're wearing our thing, we do our song and dance, and we're like, time to unwrap ourselves. And we rip it open, and it's just like tattered, disgusting skin.
And we're like, oh no!
Yeah, I remember it was like, what did you do? She's yelling at people in the audience. And I remember people in the audience genuinely just be like, oh, ooh, ew.
And we were pointing at them as we were coming to this going, it's your fault!
we are not good people to perform.
It's funny because before we were doing that, I made the call for some reason to tell my mom what we were gonna do, thinking that she'd be like, "Oh, cool."
Oh, cool.
And I told my mom we're gonna cover ourselves with glue, and she told Ken, and Ken is a very old-fashioned, country kind of dude.
Glued for paper.
A Connor Clifton.
Oh,
type.
the kind of guy who would just eat 9
very
corn
much.
cobs. Yeah.
So he sounds awesome. He keeps the show float.
No, he. I told him about that. I think I woke up to a text the next day where he just texted me, "So how was the glue?" And I was like, "It went well, Ken." It went well, Ken.
Yeah. I guess what this is all leading to is if you guys know a place we could book our outside seminar, we'd love to do it.
Yeah, we would love it. The other funny thing about Ken, real quickly, this is going to sound really morbid, but this is a true fact about my family. Within my family, it's me, my mom, my aunt, and my uncle. We have a text group that is solely reserved for when famous people die. Now, what we do...
Death pool.
Morbid?
No, sorry. As I said,
this is kind of twisted.
I'm a little out there, and I'm sorry about it. No, literally, there is a it was all one of our family members back in the day used to just go up to people and go, "Hey, Merle Haggard, dead." And that's how he would break.
Dead.
And that's
all of them.
And that's
dead.
how he would break the news. He would just say the name and then put dead. So what we do is in 2 separate texts. It's a race. Whenever somebody famous dies, the first person that can put name of person dead wins, and we all congratulate them on the text. We just added Ken to it recently, and what Ken did that was so funny was I think it was who
Triple X Temptation?
No, dead. No, it was.
Sorry,
I won.
No, it was I forget who it was. It was it was the one with the weird name, the old lady with the weird name. I forgot her name.
What? Miss Snoozlepoozle.
Yeah.
Tragic loss, too young.
Let's just say it was Mickey Rooney, and Mickey Rooney, in all caps with no spaces. He sent one text that put Mickey Rooney, he's dead. And we laughed so hard about it.
Oh, man.
Stupid Ken.
Ken is a great man, and I support him very much.
I do want to circle back to what you said about so how'd the glue go? I think it's really touching when our parents try to support our creative endeavors.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes they say and do the weirdest attempt. I know, what did your mom say about Micro Satan shows? What did she call them?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh no, that was something completely different. That was someone's coworker talking about improv and calling it a stand-up play. I think it's the funniest description. I think it was Roger Anderson said that.
Stand-up play.
How'd your little stand-up play go?
That's really good. I love that.
Ken is super supportive, as is my mom. But Ken has never been a part of this world before, where he's like gone to see stuff I've done. So it's been really like eye-opening for him because and I walked around, and my parents showed up, and my mom was like, in terms of like being too, like, she's like almost the opposite, where she's like too committed. She walked in, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm his aunt." And she like wanted to be a part of it, and I was just like, "Oh hey there, Aunt Libby," and she was like, "I'm Tilly." Like she like had like a whole backstory created for this character,
awesome.
and she wanted me to play along.
Yeah,
and I was like trying to we had like pre-described bits we were gonna do. So like Billy played Corky St. Clair, and he came out and did this dance, and like we were all supposed to do it with him. And my mom kept going, "You should do the dance too." And I was like, "That part's not here yet."
Coming up.
Yeah. So she's super supportive.
Oh, that's awesome.
My mom is very supportive, very understanding of me wanting to do creative stuff, and she was on an old show, stock show.
I saw that one.
They interviewed my mom and Billy's mom because Billy and I were together, and my mom is still like when she is hanging out with her friends and they're drinking, she's like, "I was so funny on that."
She was pretty funny.
It was funny.
See, she was funny, but the joke she tells, I'm like, Billy's mom told that joke. She's like, and I told him, I've got mafia connection, so watch out. I'm like, that is literally, Billy's mom is Italian. You are French. What mafia do you know? And she's like, no, I killed. Eventually, she's just going to be like, Joan Rivers, I did that set.
Joan Rivers, that was my idea.
And my dad, he is a dad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He said he would read my Spider-Man comic if I gave him a family discount of free. I'm like, no, you got to pay $5. And one day he did read one of my short stories, The Pig Tar, which is about a pig and a horse having a child together. That's half horse, half pig. And my dad read it and called me, and he just said, "How the heck did you come up with that, man?" I'm like, Dad, I can't tell you. Those are my secrets.
That's so funny.
Well, Cody,
Coming up to the end of it.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Oh, but I
part.
could stay here forever with my boys.
Well, we're locked in. No.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't show up after us, what are they going to do? Kick us off? I mean,
Well,
What are you going to do? Take away our show?
you guys ever seen Airheads?
no.
We could shut this studio down.
Oh,
Cody,
Take
Cody,
it over.
Cody.
Hey,
no one saw Airheads.
Where's the dump button?
Yeah.
We got to dump this insulin six coming from you.
No. I respect the institution.
I
very-
respect the movie
I
Airheads.
respect Airheads. I respect Steve Buscemi.
Yes, there's Bryn Frage, there's Steve Buscemi, there's Adam Sandmans.
Well, I have one institution that you clearly don't respect, the time to plug stuff. So, Cody, you got it. Go ahead. Plug your little stand-up plays. Plug your little doodles. What do you do?
I'm going to be on Neo Benchy next month with me and Ned are. Me and Ned have a podcast called Honey, I Shrunk the Binge, and we are gearing
Stickers
up.
now up in Baltimore and Chicago. If you guys want stickers, hit me up, y'all.
We are basically what we do is we take shows that are a few seasons long, and we watch the very first episode of the show, and then we watch the very last episode of the show, and we make predictions beforehand, and we tell you whether or not you should binge watch that show based on just 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Connor has been on like 5 episodes now, and he's coming back for another one.
I love being on that podcast.
I do love having you.
It's fun, and hopefully we're gonna have a live show coming up. I'm working on booking a date for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that will
So-
definitely come up, and the live shows are a blast.
Yeah, they're so much fun.
Yeah, I went to the last one he did. What was the movie that you guys did? Obsessed with Beyonce. I remember we watched the first part. It was great. And then we watched the second half, or the last part, where everything...
Yeah, we did first 12 minutes, last 12 minutes.
Yeah,
This is a
and the
movie.
last 12 minutes is when all the...
Oh, it's insane.
Everything happened.
I was just on vacation and it was on TV. That movie's insane. I watched like the middle of it. I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, oh my God, it's insane. We'll talk.
I just remember being so tickled at looking around the audience and seeing Nick look at his phone, and then something happened in the movie, and he looks up and his jaw drops. He's like, oh! And I was like, that's a great moment from Nick.
So it's great. And then Outside Skin, we're trying to look for a place to do the seminar. So if you have any leads or you know anything, let us know because
We should
real
just book something
passionate
not
about
in a venue. Like it's a weird enough thing. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, we could.
Yeah,
totally
we
do
can find a
that.
bridge to do this under.
Seriously.
It's in
Great.
character. Yeah.
I also I direct shows in Central Texas, and if you're ever in the area, come see us.
All right. Ned, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Grown Up Story Times tomorrow. Greatest Hits or whatever. Best
reading?
of. Yeah, I'll be reading tomorrow.
Awesome. What's the story?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. It's about going to Las Vegas, though. It's a really fun story. I love reading it.
Wait, is that the one that John Wayne wrote?
No, it's
No?
written.
Okay.
It's
All right.
written by a secret name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I've got nothing to plug.
Okay.
I mean, I'm starting a new job next week. So
And we're
Yeah.
trying to work on something too. That might
We
be
are.
in the pipe.
yeah.
Might
Oh, is it another kid bit that you guys are gonna throw me under the bus?
Yeah.
That's what well, time to spill the beans on what the podcast is called. Throw Ned under the bus.
Sign me up.
Where's
All
the
right.
bus?
All right, everybody, that's
Thank
our
you for
show.
having me,
Thank
boys.
you. Oh, thank you so much for being on it. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
yeah,
me?
you were a
guys.
blast.
Anytime.
You're off for the whole summer. Who's our next guest? Bump them. We got Cody. All right. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Bye.
Dr. Fun.